All right, well, innovation, management versus enablement. It's the name of an article from Jeffrey Phillips, an innovation consultant working for a training company named OVO. This article, which first ran on OVO's Innovation on Purpose blog, also appeared in Wednesday's issue of Quality Digest Daily. You see it right there from Jeffrey Phillips. Well, the subhead on this one, as you saw right there, I think, subhead with those of us in the business called the kicker.
The kicker.
That's right, we call that the kicker. That's right, Dave, you know. Very, very professional outfit we have here, so we like to use the proper terminology. But yeah, the kicker on this one was, can you codify creativity? And that's really, I think, the issue at work here is the idea is can innovation be codified? Can innovation and creativity work together? Can management and innovation work together in a creative sense? And really, if you think about it, innovation and creativity demand freedom. That's probably the biggest thing that you need if you want to be innovative and creative. And because everyone really generates ideas in kind of their own individualistic way, trying to order and manage that output is really a losing game. All you're going to get if you do that is the same type of kind of cookie cutter idealization, and you're really not going to get a lot of fresh ideas from the outside coming in there. And you know, the term we use here is enable, and enable is used so often in a bad way. You know, we don't want to enable our people, but in this case, you want to enable your people to be creative. You don't want to overmanage them. So you're setting up an opposition here between enabling your people versus managing them. Enabling is letting them bubble up with their good ideas versus the top-down management. That's a key thing to keep in mind here. Well, the other extreme really doesn't work very well either. This idea that companies need structure, and without it, great ideas can't really be properly brought to market, and you can't get the benefit of that. So the idea is on both ends of this extreme, whether you just let creativity run amok or that you manage it to death, you're going to really suboptimize the whole innovation process. So the question, of course, is what to do. Well, Phillips suggests that you kind of loosen up the management bonds there. You loosen up the management mindset and you essentially rein in your managers, even if it's just a little bit, so that you let your people be a little more creative. Well, that's a great start, but if you think about that and you really do that, what's going to happen is you're going to handicap your managers. You're not really going to let them do what they do best. And managers manage. That's what they're there to do. And there's going to be a backlash from that. You're going to have unhappy and kind of ineffective people on your team because the managers are there, again, to manage, to make things work. And if you try to rein them in too much and say, well, you can't manage these innovative people, these innovative teams, we're going to prevent you from doing that, they're going to be frustrated. You're not going to get a lot of value out of them either. So my thought on this, I had my own thought on this. Jeffrey Phillips did not say this, but I will. I don't want to ascribe this to Mr. Phillips because he might be mad at me. But my idea was here, let the inmates run the asylum to a point. I think you want to pretty much let your innovative teams, when they're doing that function, you know, because they won't be innovative all the time, they're going to be doing other things. But when you gather your creative people, your development people together to innovate and create and come up with new products and services, let them alone. I say don't manage them at all. Don't have any management on that process. Let them simply create, come up with ideas, bounce them off each other, get wild, get crazy, figure out whatever they can and can't do. And then at that point, after you've come up with some ideas that the team thinks are really interesting ideas, that are things that can be done and that should be done within the framework of the organization, then you bring in your managers. At that point, you bring in the managers and they begin to review those things and they say, well, what can we do? You know, what would the market support? What would our stakeholders support? What can we afford to do? What should we do? What are our competitors doing? And then shepherd it through the process at that point to bring it to market. You need both ends of this machine. You need the people that are going to be creating ideas constantly and coming up with great things to do. And then you do need the people to shepherd that process along and make sure that it's practicable and can be brought to market. But I think purely for the innovative part of this, I don't think you need to manage it at all. I don't think that you should manage it. I don't think you can manage it. And if you try to manage it again, you're going to suboptimize what those managers are there to do. They're going to be frustrated, and the innovative people are probably going to be pretty frustrated too. So the takeaway for me is let creative people be creative. Don't restrain them. come up with the ideas, and then worry about having to bring them to market.
Yep.
I think that's the best, to me that's the best approach.
Yeah.
And I think that too often people think they need to do both things at the same time, and you just can't.
Right.
You're just not going to be able to do it that way. And if you try to, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. You're not going to get great products, and even if you do somehow get good products, you're not going to be able to bring them to market at that stage. So that's my own thought on how you would.
Good stuff from Mr. Phillips as usual.
That's right. Good stuff there by Mr. Phillips. We've had a few things from Jeffrey Phillips in the newsletter in the past.